We move on now and we head to Europe, and according to reports, explosions have rocked a Russian military depot near Moscow, with blasts reported at a storage site in the Vladimir region. The Russian Ministry of Defense blamed a fire for detonating the stored ammunition. Local authorities declared a state of emergency, evacuating nearby residents. No casualties have so far been reported. Meanwhile, US presidential envoy Steve Witkoff is expected in Moscow later this week, as reported by the Kremlin. This will be Witkoff's fourth visit since Trump took office. In parallel, a new round of peace talks is scheduled in London for today, bringing together US, UK and European officials, with Ukraine's representatives present. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said Kyiv is willing to hold direct talks with Moscow, but only if Russia agrees to a full ceasefire. This, of course, after Vladimir Putin yesterday said he was ready for direct discussions with Zelensky and Ukraine. Zelensky has also confirmed that Ukraine is not discussing any new aid packages with the United States as of now. Here is what Zelensky's had to say.
Ми готові до цієї стадії. Ми готові також зафіксувати, що після припинення вогню ми готові сідати в будь-якому форматі. Щоб не було ніякого глухого куту, що Україна, там вона може, то не може, там вона хоче. В будь-якому форматі. Тому що ми будемо вже вірити, що маємо результат, хоч якийсь. Зараз це допомога, яку підтримав Конгрес ще рік тому. Так і є. Про нову допомогу ми поки що з Сполученими Штатами Америки не мали можливість мати домовленість або обговорювати деталі.
Joining us to discuss the latest developments in the Russia-Ukraine conflict is Professor Dr. Vasilin Ivanov-Popovsky, a professor and Vice Dean at the Jindal Global Law School in New Delhi. Thank you very much for being here, Professor Popovsky. I want to first look at this statement from Volodymyr Zelensky. Why do you think he wants to delay direct discussions with Russia until a ceasefire is agreed?
Well, obviously, ceasefire is very crucial here, and it is a starting point for future negotiations, which may take months to agree on every little single issue. So obviously, ceasefire is a must, but we see also change in Moscow, finally. Vladimir Putin talking about 30 days comprehensive unconditional ceasefire, with some conditions, of course, but I think the best step done by the US administration was the announcement they will walk away from the process, which was announced first by Marco Rubio and then repeated by Donald Trump. And that message that we are no longer involved if there is no progress made a huge shock in Moscow. Moscow definitely needs United States on their side, because nobody else is talking the Russian propaganda lies, only Donald Trump repeats those. So Putin is desperate to keep United States, and for that matter, I expect Putin also to go on concessions, for example, on accepting the 30-day ceasefire, which is very good news. Hopefully, we don't know yet, we'll see what happened in London today, we will see what happened in Moscow tomorrow or after tomorrow when Steve Witkoff goes there.
Yes, Professor Dr. Popovsky, we are unfortunately running short of time, but very quickly, I do want to allude to this strike by Ukraine, this reported strike by Ukraine on a military depot near Moscow. A state of emergency has been put in place by local authorities. What's the significance of this strike? We've been showing visuals on screen as well, with no current deaths reported.
It's a military target. It's a military depot. International humanitarian laws allow that. So absolutely no problem. These are not civilians, as Moscow usually claim. It is absolutely military target. It's possible to do, and Russians should expect more of those, and not only in Moscow, but everywhere in Russia. Military targets in the Russian Federation, everywhere, are allowed under international humanitarian law.
Professor Dr. Vasilin Ivanov-Popovsky, thank you for joining us.